Crypto investor nerves are fraying, but Bitcoin is holding around $21,000. I'm Joel Flynn, you're watching the Daily Forkast from July 27th, 2022, and this is what's happening from Asia to the world. The IMF is worried about the global economy, but crypto investors are just about okay with that. Venture capitalists are jumping on opportunities, and US lawmakers are trying to rush through last-minute rule changes on stablecoins.
Join thousands of NFT traders who already start their day on CryptoSlam.
Crypto markets have been plunging overnight, but they're looking a little bit steadier this morning here in Asia. What has been worrying investors then? Well, the International Monetary Fund has sounded the alarm about the global economy. The IMF cut its prediction for global growth this year and next. We'll tell you why in just a second. But after that news, Bitcoin fell below $21,000 as of this morning. Asia, though, it had recovered some of that ground, trading just above 21,100. Ethereum prices were also bouncing, just up 1.1% in the last 24 hours or so to over $1,400. So, worries about the macro picture very clearly hitting crypto markets, but the IMF has also said that the crash in crypto hasn't yet harmed the broader financial system. Forecast Lachlan Keller tells you why.
According to the latest International Monetary Fund, or IMF, outlook for this year and next, the world economy may soon be on the cusp of an outright recession. The IMF says the world's three largest economies, the US, China and the Eurozone, are all stalling. The body pointed to higher than anticipated global inflation, supply chain disruptions due to ongoing COVID-19 outbreaks in China, and continuing negative spillovers from the war in Ukraine as major contributing factors to the economic uncertainty. The IMF's updated guidance expects the global economy to grow by 3.2% in 2022 and just 2.9% in 2023. That's almost 1% lower than it had slated in its April outlook. The crypto market fell in response, but most cryptocurrencies were recovering by Wednesday morning in Asia. One expert told Forecast the IMF's moves didn't come as a surprise.
The IMF has actually, it's consistently been downgrading its forecasts, and they still seem to, well, in the past there seemed to have been some sort of view of capitulation on their part, of not wanting to be too bearish, rather like the Fed, slightly behind the curve all the way down. And so it's not. I don't think people are hugely surprised that they've cut their forecasts again, or that they've increased their the risk of recession. Because the two really go hand in hand.
Ben Amons of Medley Global Advisors echoed what Sullivan said, and he warns of tighter monetary and fiscal policies to come.
Well, maybe for once the forecast is right, because what it is really is a global phenomenon, right? It is a pandemic issue, this recession. We boosted it so much to get us out of the abyss of the pandemic in every area of the globe, and now we're in the reversal process of it, and we need to tighten monetary policy first, which is happening in a major way, and eventually fiscal policy will be tightened too.
Meanwhile, amid tough macroeconomic conditions and a slump in Bitcoin's price, investment banking firm Jefferies has downgraded MicroStrategy stock from hold to underperform. That saw its share price plunge over 10% on Tuesday. In a CoinDesk report, Jefferies said the business intelligence firm, which is the largest corporate holder of Bitcoin, has an unrealized loss of over $1 billion on an investment of $3.97 billion. Now, despite the crypto turmoil over the past weeks, the IMF said that hasn't affected global financial stability. It said the market experienced a dramatic sell-off, and that has led to losses in crypto investment vehicles and caused the failure of algorithmic stablecoins and crypto hedge funds. But spillovers of the broader financial system have been limited so far. For Sullivan, crypto's recovery in the past days proves there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
The encouraging thing to me really over the last probably two and a half weeks has been to see that certainly Bitcoin back above 20,000 and significantly above 20,000. I think it got back up to about 24 earlier this week. So there's been a resurgence there. I think obviously there was a knee-jerk reaction probably about 10 days ago to a lot of the instances that were going on there. But then again, we've seen people come back.
I'm Lachlan Keller, Forecast.
Well, despite these market nerves, venture capital fundraising is continuing at a pace. According to data from PitchBook, VC funds raised so far this year are already at $137.5 billion. That is just shy of the $142.1 billion raised in the whole of last year. The report says that in a lot of places, July's fundraising alone was the largest month ever. Speaking to Forecast earlier this month, Hong Kong VC giant Animoca Brands said downturns can offer great opportunities.
We think that this is a great time if you're a developer of a game. This is a time to focus on developing and building and releasing, getting feedback from your users and your community. I mentioned this in my panel, but some of our most successful investments were made during the previous crypto winter.
Tina Cheng of Cherubic Ventures told Forecast investment is solid as the quality of founders and entrepreneurs in the sector has been increasing. She said, before 2020, many founders were crypto native and very young or first-time founders. Now, though, there are people who've had success in Web 2 moving into Web 3, trying to solve problems and build new products. Cheng says that is increasing investor interest. Investors aren't the only ones trying to seize opportunities. US lawmakers are also in a race against time. The House of Representatives' August holiday begins on Monday. Before that, some are trying to rush to introduce a draft bill on stablecoins. That is according to the blog. So why are they so keen? Well, Forecast Carolyn Wright has a look.
Negotiations over a long-awaited bill detailing stablecoin regulations have reportedly stalled, meaning it could be delayed until at least September. However, citing 4 sources familiar with the plan, the bloc says that with fears the momentum could be lost, the race is on to introduce a draft bill for discussion this week instead. Ben Emmons of Medley Advisors told Forecast that with a busy schedule ahead, the lawmakers are likely making the push to get the process started and keep it in the forefront of people's minds.
We're coming up with primaries, right, the 2022 primaries. So there's also concerns there that the legislative agenda in between August and November, December, the path is so narrow to get things through. There's probably other political pressure that's there. But it's interesting to see that there is more support for the regulation on either side of the aisle. To get something in place, at least to develop a framework that we can actually have a digital payment system here.
Emmons says issues with stablecoins have affected retail investors, so there is a need for legislation to be in place, and that while the US remains a very cash-based society, a framework for the economic evolution that is underway is needed.
It will be about having a ability to transact in crypto or other related digital currencies in such a way that you can just right now can transact from your bank account to any retailer or anything else, like the normal way. It's just replacing that in a quicker, more efficient way, and adapting the technology. That I think is what really is driving it, and I think this is why they want this regulation.
Emmons says lawmakers will also have concerns like preventing scams and fraud in mind in what is a fast-developing retail-oriented market. However, if the push is unsuccessful, it will join the bipartisan crypto bill in facing a delay until after the recess at least. We will, of course, be keeping watch. I'm Carolyn Wright, Forecast.
All right, here's a quick update for you on Terra Luna. Authorities in South Korea look like they're waiting to arrest Terraform Labs boss Do Kwon. The Ministry of Justice has been asked to notify prosecutors when he returns to the country. He's currently thought to be in Singapore. Co-founder Daniel Shin, meanwhile, has been banned from travel in South Korea. Both were sued by Terra Luna investors in May. Shin, though, claims he cut ties with the company in 2020. So that's what's been happening. Here is today's takeaway. Are we really on the brink of recession, and what does that even mean for crypto markets? Things keep looking more tricky, yes, for the global economy, but the US is still creating jobs and the Fed is still keeping everyone in the loop about its plans to deal with inflation. And despite the tough environment, venture capital is still flowing into crypto. Also, regulators are rushing through new laws for the sector in the US and elsewhere. That is going to bring further uncertainty and further risk for everyone and potentially have consequences that no one expected. Let me know your thoughts about the macro picture, how it's going to impact crypto markets, what you think about new rules coming into the United States and elsewhere. I'm on Twitter at Joel Flynn. You can also follow us on Twitter at @forecast_news. We've got the latest updates on everything that's happening every day. That is it though for today's Daily Forecast. I'll see you next time.